Don't tell me if you care. Come alive with it, let it show. And don't wishfully believe I would die for it. Oh, holding a pole. Why should I put everything into all these songs you just steal? The act in itself frees me up in ways that connects me with everyone else. Don't tell me if you care. Come alive with it, let it show. And don't wishfully believe I would die for this. What is that? Make me. What is that? Make me. What is that? Make me. I'm reaching out. You know not what you do. Light shows the way, it's too much to contain, and it's not an even trade. So just watch what you say. You fall when words don't mean enough. Keep your mouth shut. Not known at
Hello. Hello. I'm Count Howell. Tonight is a Monday, and we have things to talk about. It is awfully dark. I just look like a floating neckerchief. Ooh, tonight on Count Howell's, you will face 3 ghosts from your past. You know what the best part is? I don't think anybody's watching right now. And I also like that I still have this card up. Is it illegal to rim your dog? It's It's a damn good question. Yes, yes. Alright, let's do some last minute research since nobody's here. Since nobody's here anyway, then it's okay that I'm not done with that thing. Well, I think I have done all the research that I'm going to do on this subject. So, I wonder what I should do now. Doing the talks when no one's watching, as usual, is very boring. You know, the commentary makes it a lot more interesting. So, always a bummer, you know? Always a bummer when you don't have enough friends. We will make more friends. Because that's what we do. Because we're Count Howl, and all I do is make friends, bitch. Like that. How about that? How about that, friend? delicious. God damn it. Hello, Barry. How are you? How are you, my friend? I hope you're doing good. Meh. Well, meh is better than bad. So we'll take it for now. For now. Anything in particular or just a meh day? Hey! The fact that someone would come here to feel better about anything means I'm doing something right. I have been sitting here doing extra research. Oh, fuck. I finished my idea. I've been doing extra research for the video I was going to record tonight, but it's really boring recording videos when you're sitting in chat by yourself and no one's online tonight, so I'm just going to do an extra research. Now, as to what you were saying, yeah, I'd lose like a day and a half or so after each therapy session. That was EMDR though. That was pretty heavy stuff. But yeah, that shit can fuck you up, man. People don't understand. They're like, how do you come out of therapy more fucked up than you went in? You're like, yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah. Because you go in and you dig up all this shit and like you can't get into it right away, right? Like you show up, hi, how was your week? It was okay. This and this and this happened. Oh yeah, what about that? Did you make any progress here? Interesting, cool. You've lost 15 minutes. Now you get to like, okay, so let's pick up where we left off last week. From there, you get about 35 minutes before they go, well, we only have about 10 minutes left. So, can you put all that back in the box now? And leave it there until you come back to see me next week? And you're like, no? Why did we pull this out of me? Now I have to be with this? Ugh. It sucks. It fucking sucks. Fuck all that shit. I'm actually glad to hear someone else say it, because I always felt crazy. But yeah, I'm doing some extra research, and and I'm just kind of wrapping that up. Finding stuff in regards to treating your dom good is actually kind of hard. There's not really like a wealth of literature for that like there is for subs. Like how to handle your sub during aftercare. Like there's maybe like 4 guides on how to treat your dom during aftercare, and I think that there was actually just one, and the other 3 people just rewrote it for an article for their website. So it's like, okay. So I've like had to put a lot of my own thought into this and like try and think of things like silly things. Like I mentioned, so anticipation of needs for your dom, right? One of the things that you can anticipate and help with is logistics. Help arrange times and places. Help arrange when and where the session's going to happen. It's just a tiny thing. You don't have to even be in sub character. You could just kind of like Google a few things. Super easy stuff. But like things like that weren't mentioned anywhere. Like that you could step up as a human being, not like as a sub, like that you don't have to stay a sub at all times and forever, that you are also a person, is like what a lot of these guides don't seem to take account of. It's really interesting. Hey, hopefully, you know, I honestly, I go back and forth on when no one's in here, if I should still be doing these and recording them for YouTube, or if I should just sit on them, wait till people are in here, then do it, and keep that recording for YouTube. Either way, it's going to YouTube. It's just a matter of when. And lately, it's just been pretty dead in chat, so it's been like, oh, it's just like me and my best friend. I'm gonna skip it tonight, man. Like, you helped me research this shit. Like, come on. But when there's like even 3 people here, it like gets going and there's discussion and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just pouting. No, I'm back at the bottom level, you know? I took that almost month and a half because of being sick off. And when I came back, just don't have any viewers. So now I got to start back way down. Yeah, absolutely it does. Totally influences what you play, how you play it, your whole energy level. When I was starting, I would message my friends and I'd be like, hey, can you come watch my stream? And if everyone was like, oh, I'm busy, then I'd be like, okay, fuck it. And I wouldn't even stream. But if they could come watch, then I'd do it. But that was before I was a partner. So I was concerned with things like average number of viewers. I'm sorry, I'm not a partner, I'm an affiliate. Now that I'm an affiliate, average number of viewers is kind of irrelevant. I mean, it matters for metrics, but it's not like holding me back from something. So, so now I'm more open to just leaving the camera on and just fucking sitting around forever. I was way more like that in the beginning. I had this huge like pre-stream checklist of stuff that I do before I started, and like I said, if friends couldn't be on, I wouldn't log in. If the game I wanted to play, hi kitty, why don't you just jump up here? If the game I wanted to play was being weird, I'd be like, nope, fuck it, I'm not streaming then. But I've gotten better at just being here all the time. I need start doing like 15-16 hour long streams again, because that's what I was doing when I started getting a lot of viewers. Reruns also help a lot. Sister! I'm going to make a rerun video pretty soon. Give give me another week or two of recording these. And I'm going to have a video that is just all the talks I've done so far. So I have one thing I can put rerun on, and I can put a little thing up here that says rerun. Okay. This is really dumb. Okay? Empty your mind of all thought of how a thing should be. Okay? I'm trying to decide which. Yes, so no one talks to themselves and feels weird and then leaves. But if they just know it's a rerun, then they'll stick around and maybe watch the whole thing and then possibly come back later. So when you are a viewer and you go look at like who's in just chatting right now, and you reverse sort so that people with 0 viewers are at the top, then you will see streams that are happening. However, it will say real small next to it, rerun. But it appears to you, aside from that bit of text, exactly like a live stream would. The chat bar is there. Everything is where it should be, and there's no real good visual cue that you are watching a fucking rerun. This is a good and a bad thing. Because so when you set up a rerun, you have options. You can choose previous streams, or you can choose highlights. And if you're good at highlighting and choose the right streams, I had a 16-hour rerun loop that was like all okay content, like stuff that people could sit through, and like it was either me reading, me explaining something, or something like really funny. One channel I watched, the guy who runs, he's in Hawaii, shows cooking shows. So when he's asleep, he plays reruns. Then during the day, when he's at work, he's just able to put on his regular playlist. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to think of what else there is to say on it, really. When I was running them a lot, I guess I'll talk from my experience, rather. When I was running them every night, as soon as I would log off, I would go, okay, guys, stick around for a rerun. And then I'd queue up a rerun. I never raided anybody because I did reruns. Why would I raid when I can rerun and get more viewers? I mean, raiding actually also gets you more viewers because you make friends, but this is where my mind was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do reruns every night. Then there actually started to be people who would show up in chat and say something, and they'd be like, I've been watching your reruns. Or, oh my God, I finally caught you live. And there was enough of those people that, like, I'm trying to think of like other sources that I get people from. And it's people walking in the door here when I'm live. So it basically just opens up that opportunity to 24 hours instead of just 6 or 8. Yeah, that was the only issue, was that people would come in and they would say stuff. Now, some people come in and they troll. So they'll be like, nice hair, gay boy. Hey, do you like dick? Do you like dick? Hey, do you like dick? Why won't you respond to me? Why isn't my chat showing up on the screen? Do you like dick? And you're just like, ban. Cool. Now I don't have to deal with them when I'm live. They're never going to be able to come in my channel when I'm live now. I just banned them without ever having to even meet them. It's a beautiful fucking thing. Yeah, that some people are like, why are you ignoring me? Or like, I think a lot of people really do notice once they start talking and it's not showing up on screen. If you have text on your screen, they'll see messages popping up as they're watching the show. Then they'll say something and they'll look and their message will never show up and you'll keep talking. So they'll usually say, why aren't my messages showing up? What the fuck? Then they'll either leave, they'll realize it's a rerun and they'll follow and then come back later, or they'll stick around because they don't realize anything is happening. They never talk. They don't realize that this is even a rerun at all. And they finish watching your stream and they're happy. It's like the 3 scenarios that are possible are all wins as a content creator. And that's why I don't raid people. I never built the habit of it. I'm not saying like this is why I shouldn't. I'm saying this habit made it to where I just don't. I don't think to do it when I log off. So I got to start being more proactive about that. I keep going. My number of viewers keeps kind of being weird. I just loaded a bowl. It's time to smoke it. So, when you're on your channel dashboard, you can hit play rerun. When you do, it opens up a viewer where you can search your own VODs. So they'll all be listed by previous titles. If you're not an affiliate, it only holds VODs for a certain amount of time. If you are, then it'll hold it for a really long time. And highlights, it'll hold for a really fucking long time. So highlights are, if you type, okay, wait, I'm jumping. We'll come back to that in a second. So you hit rerun, or, play reruns, whatever, create rerun playlist. And it'll be like, what do you want on there? And then you just start searching for clips and highlights and episodes and putting them on the list. For some reason, it's broken on mine, might be everyone's, where I can't reorder them. So I have to enter them in the order I want them to be, even though it displays that you could reorder them. It just doesn't work on my thing. And it'll tell you the total amount of time that all your reruns together will add up to. So as you're adding more and more streams, it'll be like 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, because you're adding these streams that were different amounts of time. So if you know you're going to stream the next day, you can just like, whoop, yep, there's a rerun button in the dashboard. If it isn't there, then it's one of the buttons you can add. You know how you can like add additional buttons on your dashboard of other services that you may or may not use? It is in there. The thing about highlights that I said I'd come back to, I don't know how much you or if you use them, but what you do is during a stream, you don't have to do this, but during a stream, you can type /marker. /marker started playing Banjo-Kazooie. /marker stopped playing Banjo-Kazooie. Then when you go back to your VOD, those markers will be little bookmarks that you can click on, and you highlight an area between 2 markers, or you can highlight any area, but having the markers means that you know where you're trying to highlight for that time you were playing Banjo-Kazooie, right? And you then hit create highlight, and it makes a smaller video out of just that part, where you can tell it immediately, I want to send that video also over to YouTube, which is really nice. So it holds on to highlights a lot longer than it holds on to VODs. So if you are smart about making markers and go after your stream each time to your markers and make a new highlight and kick it over, then you'll have a bunch of highlights you can use for your rerun. So that way people don't have to watch you do your setup, get your cup of coffee. It just clicks right to where the action picks up for the next one. What I'm going to do is take this a step further, because that wasn't enough for me. What I'm going to do is I have a whole bunch of videos I've recorded. When I'm running OBS, I have it streaming, and then I just hit the record button when I want to start doing a segment, which is like a talk on something. So what I'll do is I'll launch I'll launch OBS one night and tell it to media player all my videos back to back. This will make a single video on Twitch or a single highlight that is all my episodes as one thing. Because then I can put a fucking rerun thing right here on top of the episodes, so that everyone who turns in knows they're watching a rerun. And that way I don't have to select a bunch of different highlights and shit. I just click on the one. I just have one 12-hour long video that I just start. There you go, guys. But you have to play it once from your PC to Twitch in order to do that trick. I'm teaching you tricks already when you should probably be practicing the where's the button, but these are things, just let this information wash over you. All right, it's bong o'clock. My lovely SZA sister is still at work, being the best RN, being my favorite RN. Other than this, I've been getting a Dungeons & Dragons campaign ready. I get a new airbrush tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. Because the other one, I got a new airbrush and it broke the first time I used it. This will be online and broadcast to Twitch. And I specialize in dungeon mastering. Like, I have written a very long thing, and Saturday mornings I do classes on here of Dungeon Master class. And it's like all just advice for DMs and stuff like that, or world building or storytelling and that kind of stuff. So I love dungeon mastering. It's been my favorite role at the table ever since I was a wee little lad. And I'm making all my friends get on Discord to play with me so that I can turn them into content. It'll be an interesting show. It'll almost be like a puppet show. Yes, yes indeed. I found the Dungeon Master's Guide, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide, at a used bookstore. And I bought it. And I made my friends start playing using only that book, and I just made up the rest of the rules until I could buy the player handbook. Then they got to be classes and races. I was like, no, you just roll. You just roll dice. Here's a +1. Roll dice. And I was 12 or 13. So I don't think there's been a year that's gone by that I haven't played Dungeons & Dragons ever since. It's like my favorite activity in the world. I get very excited talking about it. One of the few places, mentally speaking, in the psychic sphere, one of the few places where I've ever really felt like myself, like felt comfortable in my own skin, is playing Dungeons & Dragons, when I'm pretending to be other people. Yes, this is good. This is healthy. See? I knew I could quit my therapy and be just fine. Kitty! Actually, Let's see what the deal is with this place. Yeah. Just get happy, excited about it. This is Rakovia. Two roads intersected at once. It was about time, in the sense that I had resolved the things I started seeing that therapist to resolve, and had new problems that I don't think that she was properly specialized for. And on top of that, this was already in motion, okay? So it wasn't this event that I'm about to describe that made the other happen, but because the other was already wanting to happen, she and I got into a big fucking argument about... Maybe she thinks the context of this question is important, but I don't. I don't think that you need any additional context for this question. If you are a medical professional, do you imagine that there are times your job might conflict with a patient's best interest? If you answer no, you're pretty naive. There's things like insurance companies, there's things like the doctor's board, there's all sorts of laws, there's all sorts of shit that's going to make you behave in ways that obey those things. And when the fucking moon and Saturn align, it's going to be a problem for your patient. What you have to do is going to create an issue for your patient. When that happens, not if, when that happens, just go, I'm sorry. Yes, I did that. I know it hurt you. I had to do it to save my own job. Because if I didn't, I couldn't give you any more treatment. That's the answer I wanted. That's the answer I wanted. Not, well, you know, my job here, my role here as a therapist. See, now, you set certain benchmarks, you set certain goals when you started therapy here, and my role here is to guide you to, and I'm just like, yes or no? Literally, this is the last conversation she and I had, with her droning on like that and me being like, that is a lot of words to not say yes or no. Yes, you understand that concept, or no, you do not believe that your job will ever conflict with the patient's interest. And she just refused to answer because the answer was obvious. And it's like, and I was like, this is the answer that someone whose job or whose boss is fucking watching over their shoulder gives. I didn't realize that you were a dog. This is your issue, though. This is on you. Because you're just being naive. I can tell you factually that your actions caused harm in my life. Now, whether you were required to do those actions or not, we can have that discussion. As soon as you agree or disagree that your actions hurt me. Well, see, my role here as a Okay, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Do you need me to refer you to someone else? I no longer respect your opinion, so no. Why the fuck would I want your referral? Into the actions. It was basically, and this really isn't fully in her control. And that's why I was like, I separate this from context, okay? But here we go. So I have been fighting for disability for 3 years and finally got my case escalated all the way up to seeing a judge and was denied. They then sent me the paperwork explaining my denial, and 90% of the reason I was denied was because of things that were in my psychiatric care notes. Not even necessarily things having to do with psychiatric care at all. Like patient took a road trip to Colorado and back. Therefore, his back must not be hurting him that much. So, for her, I said, I tried to move to Colorado to get medical help because the world's fucking foremost doctor in Ehlers-Danlos syndrome lives there. It didn't work out. My place to live fell through. I was homeless, so I moved back. The level of pain I was in while driving is not explained by the actions I took. So, in her folder, oh, he went to Colorado, he came back. Okay. And I understand that. And I understand why you write what you write. However, in the future, do you think you could consider the idea that the only other people who will ever look over those notes are people who are trying to use them against your patients? So, the way you write your notes has a lot of influence on your patients' lives. Well, I can't write my notes any differently. You sure about that? And it's like each of these things is not even something I want to argue. I don't want to argue that she could or couldn't write her notes differently. I don't want to argue about that. I want to argue about whether she agrees or not that her actions could hypothetically, in a vacuum, harm a patient. Because if she can't agree to that, then we're done. And she didn't. So it was just like... But the discussion about like whether you do or don't have to write something in your notes, I was like, did you write what color shirt I was wearing during our last session? Well, that's ridiculous. I just want a simple yes or no so that I can move on to my next point. Please respect me enough to answer whether you wrote down what color my shirt was or not. Because I'm willing to bet that you didn't. And if you didn't, that means you chose not to, which means that you choose the things that are in your notes. Or do you just not have free will? I fucking just lost my shit on this bitch. So, on top of that, like I said, I started seeing her for like childhood trauma stuff. I'm past it for the most part now. You know what I mean? He'll jump up on the bed. Or he comes and he lays right by my foot. So these people specialize in chronic pain therapy, which will be what I need, because most of my mental distress these days has to do with the fact that I'm in fucking pain all the time. I have to go to fucking doctors every week and give them blood all the time and fucking pee in cups and sorts of bullshit. So I just, I get sick of their shit. You know what it's like. And yeah, it absolutely was that. She was basically, she wouldn't even deny that I could be harmed. She just refused to answer the question outright. And I was just like, I misunderstood our relationship here. I no longer want treatment from you. It would never work. I would never be able to go back in there and be like, I respect this person's opinion and I'm going to listen to them. It's just the total lack of like, and this is something I've been dealing with a lot of doctors, actually, even outside mental health care. There's no one accountable for them. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't want to treat you. I think you're ugly. Like, they so long as they just don't say those words out loud, they can just stare at you as you're like, no. But the concept here is this. You go and see a doctor and you're like, doctor, I am having incredible pain here. Excruciating, making me vomit levels of pain. And they'll go, okay, well, I renewed all your prescriptions. So why don't we see how that works out for you? And we're going to get you back in here in about 3.5 weeks to get you on your prescriptions again. And we'll see how that goes from there. So basically, don't let the door hit me in the ass on my way out, is what you're saying? Basically, you're saying, hey, you're going to walk out of here with less than what you walked in with. The calories you exhausted moving through my office. Like, why did I come here? Why am I talking to you? Why? What the? Am I on fucking candid camera? Like, it seriously feels like that sometimes, where I'm just like, I've had them look me dead in the face and be like, so what do you want? What would you like me to do about it? Doctor it. You're the doctor. Doctor something. Yeah. And I get that, you know what I mean? And I was willing, you know what I mean? Like when I went in, because the Butrans patch is a great example, right? I go in, he's like, let's try fucking low dose naltrexone. We try that and they make me pay for it, $55 a month. And I'm just like, I just can't do that. Like, I would love to and all, but like, there's a lot of months I don't have an extra $55 and I don't want that med to just drop out of my life. So, and I wasn't doing handstands after taking it. So he's like, okay, cool. Well, then let's try this Butrans patch. I don't want to put you on pain pills. Let's try this Butrans patch. Okay. After that, nothing. Just nothing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Racing thoughts is not auditory hallucinations. Oh my God. Oh my God. How am I not a doctor? How am I? I'm going to make fake identifications and just become a doctor. Because no one will ever question me, because I'll just be right all the time. I'll be the best doctor anyone has ever had, so no one will ever even look into me. Because literally every single doctor on Earth, there's this thing called the Schumann resonance, right? And this is really dumb, okay? And it depends on how spiritual you are if you know about this or not, but like, it's this frequency at which the vibe of humanity is at, and like you can measure it, right? Like you can